So for me, this guitar is representation of some of the lowest times in Gibson history and what they did to compensate, which I really liked. This guitar is a 2015 Gibson, which was when Les Paul turned 100, and they put this ugly LP 100 on it. So of course I had to get one like that. Unfortunately, those guitars all came with the dumbest thing ever, as you probably heard me say. Robot tuners are fucking stupid. I know how to tune my guitar. I know a lot of you don't know how to tune your guitar, and that's why your bands suck. And if you need your guitar to do it, it's just enabling you to suck more. I don't want your fucking robot tuner! A lot of people, when they bought the guitars in 2015, specifically sent them back to Gibson and said, I want you to put on good old-fashioned, ugly, snot-colored Clusons. Because that's what's supposed to be on this guitar, you fucking morons. That doesn't lower the value at all, because now, and in fact, it enhances the value because it was done in the Gibson factory. That year, they had brass nuts. A lot of people said this is bullshit. Really good idea, because it's actually an adjustable nut, and brass resonates for a really long time. So I think people were just hating on Gibson. The robot tuners was kind of like the Holocaust of Gibson. Like literally everyone was just like, no, never again, never again, never again, never again. Let us not forget history. The things that Gibson did to get you to buy those robot tuners, because the CEO had a vested interest in them, was they would list the guitars as lower tops. And this was supposed to be a BB top. Now BB is like, hold on, this version of the guitar, which was not with robot tuners, which is, as we're gonna get into, look, it's the 120th anniversary because Gibson loves anniversary guitars, but also has mother of pearloid. So we'll get back to this in a second, but the top, this is a BB top. I argue that this might be a AA, arguably a AAA top, because it's surf green, love the color, and you could see the mahogany kind of like color through it. It's really, really, really nice. They did that to fool people into buying those stupid fucking robot tuners. And they did something that Gibson hasn't almost ever done. They put actual mother of pearl in a Les Paul. Not the mother of pearloid, beautiful mother of pearl. So I see this across the room and it sticks out differently. So beautiful top, beautiful mother of pearl. Got rid of the tuners. I really, really like this brass nut here. They did something great with this guitar. They put in a 20 decibel boost. Now, why is that so important? Because some people want the vintage Gibson sound. Now me, I think the vintage Gibson sound is boring and kind of dead and flat because I play like a lot of heavy music and all that, and I like my guitars to literally slice through my ears. It's a preference, but normal PAF humbuckers to lots of people sound great, and I have played plenty that I really enjoy. But as a whole, there's not enough for me in that. That is kind of divisive because that's what's in a Les Paul, so you either have to turn up the gain on your amp or whatever. Not anymore, motherfuckers! You turn that on, and it's the difference for me of PAFs and almost like that EMG Fishman Fluence, sound, that really high output sound. I'm sure someone will say that's not exactly right, but for me, this is normal classic tone. I want to record metal. And a lot of people didn't like this, but I think this feature is great, being a studio guy. The pickups tap. I think that single coils in a Les Paul sound great, and these are 61 zebra stripes, which are actually the highest output pickups anyway, and I gotta tell you, I like the 57 pluses and these 61s, which are the highest output pickups ever put in a Gibson guitar like this. They sound absolutely fantastic without the 20 decibel boost, and when you throw that on, it's ridiculous. So this is a great sounding guitar, but I want to talk about its sister. And if you didn't notice also, it came with these ugly, ugly knobs. So I decided that I would get these Indian head knobs, made in America, obviously, of course, and put them on. And because I thought it would be beautiful. And I took off the stupid treble and rhythm, and then I took off the pick guard. And yes, they're all in the case because I would never defile a Gibson guitar. So if somebody ever buys this from me, it has all the original parts and can be restored, but it looks how I want it to look. That said, we're going to talk about her sister right now. So where that was a 2015, this is a 2014. So 1 year before, notice that this was a BB top, which is basically supposed to be a little bit of grain, all of that. Not that beautiful grain, but just kind of like, you know, there's something to it. And if you look at it in the light, it's got a 3D look to it. But it's not a super nice top by any means. It's just cool because it's vintage tobacco. It's nice. You got the inlays that are mother of pearloid versus the real mother of pearl. And it says 120th anniversary. But this one came with the Kluson. No one had to send this back to the factory and say, fuck you, that sucks. But that's why they weren't fooling you with the mother of pearl and with the fucking nicer top. The guy who got this before me was smart enough to realize he didn't like the 57 and the 57 Plus, so he put these beautiful, beautiful PAF Thin Lizzy bare knuckle pickups in it that have brushed silver. And I gotta tell you, I am such a glutton for brushed silver covers on a Les Paul, especially one that looks like this. And he was smart enough, again, to put all the original pieces in the case so he didn't defile the guitar. And he also took off the pick guard, and I took off the rhythm piece. Put these awesome knobs on it, which are, these ones are circulated versus uncirculated to kind of go with the brushed silver look. And the pickups also tap, which again, a lot of people complained about because they said with the normal Les Paul, why are you gonna do that? And I say, if you like them as humbuckers, then don't fucking touch them, you moron. Like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, why not give them more things? Like, I understand if there's like extra switches and things you can hit. This is pretty easy. Just don't pull it. I've gone years not knowing that I could do that. I was like, oh my God. One year I'm just like, oh, it pulls? That's interesting. 25 years later. And again, has the boost. So these guitars are great in the studio because not only can you like get the single coil sound, if you want like the Eddie Van Halen single coil sound on a Les Paul, you give it the 20 decibel boost, but through a single coil. And you can see that aesthetically they're not as nice. Obviously the surf green, they put a little bit more effort into, but I think they're just as beautiful. And what great guitars. But the bottom line is, fuck robot tuners. Secondly, if you really want to have a guitar that's super diverse, one of the most important things, and Gibson finally got it right, and then they took it away, because that's what Gibson does. They come up with a great idea, and then some troll says, I don't like that, versus like, we don't like robot tuners. It took like fucking years to get rid of that shit. Took Mark Ignacy basically fucking shitting on it and then getting hired for the company. Man, I like this. You want to combat Fishman Fluence and, you know, EMGs and all these other active pickups? Well, put more active stuff in there so you can go from old school tone to new school tone. These are awesome guitars, and I gotta tell you, I love the Gibson Classic. 2 Gibson Classics, and this year that they made it, they actually had multiple versions. One had the mother of pearloid versus mother of pearl, and it was basically, the more expensive one had the robot tuner, so it was trying to fool you. But what Gibson fucking did right, active, passive, active, passive. But the knobs were ugly. So these are my 2 sisters, and they sound great. Only a Gibson is good enough. And if it isn't good enough, make it good enough. Why don't you fucking smash that subscribe button already?